a lot of these top YouTubers on the right-wing political YouTubers have been caught getting hundreds of thousands of dollars a week from Russia to push narratives and information in the media. So if you haven't been aware, there's a new indictment that came out that includes Tim Pool, Lauren Chen, Dave Rubin, Benny Johnson, and other top like right-wing political commentators.
Yeah.
They all got caught getting money from the Russian government, like hundreds of thousands of dollars per week for Tim Pool's case in specifically. And basically what was going on was they created like a shell company in the US and like hid it under, they pretended not to be like Russian agents, basically, the Russian government. And this company was paying out all these YouTubers and pushing all these crazy Russian narratives like in this video I'm about to show you right now.
Know it. But I don't know that it matters anymore. This is psychotic. Ukraine is the enemy of this country. Ukraine is our enemy, being funded by the Democrats. I will stress this again. One of the greatest enemies of our nation right now is Ukraine. They are expanding this war. Now, don't get me wrong. I know you've got criminal elements of the U.S. government pushing them and guiding them and telling them what to do. Ukraine is now accused, a German warrant issued for blowing up the Nord Stream pipeline, triggering this conflict. Ukraine is the greatest threat to this nation and to the world. We should rescind all funding and financing, pull out all military support, and we should apologize to Russia.
So let me get this straight. Basically, from what you're telling me is that they were getting paid to like spew this propaganda, anti-Ukraine propaganda in favor of Russia.
Not just anti-Ukraine, it was just like a lot of divisive rhetoric in general they were pushing, but yeah. Ukraine was the big one. Like, why are you so anti-Ukraine as an American? So like you're calling Ukraine the biggest threat to the United States and that they're starting World War III. They got invaded, but he's the one, you know, being super aggressive on it. It's a little suspicious. Mm-hmm. Come to find out, this is before he was taking the reveal that he was getting all this money from them was revealed. And it's $100,000 per week he was making. This was revealed in court documents per week. That's, you know how stupid bread. So here's a quote. Tim was being paid $100,000 per week by Tenet Media. Tenet Media took millions from the Kremlin, which is Russian government, as a part of a scheme to create and distribute content to U.S. audiences with hidden Russian government messaging, quote.
But he's being indicted for this.
It's a federal indictment, which is like 99% conviction rate.
But why? I'm genuinely asking.
So actually, correction, he's not being indicted specifically. Mm-hmm. The founder of the company Tenet Media, who is another right-wing YouTuber called Lauren Chen, she's the one being indicted because she knowingly knew she was taking money from the Russian government, and she recruited all these YouTubers along with her. And the company, and it was all from this like Russian, not Russian, it was just a European millionaire of unknown name. They're asking questions about the name. But they're like, so who is this guy?
And it's Putin.
And it's the Russian government. But they made a fake persona of like it's just a guy that's a free speech activist, and he's a wealthy dude that wants to see that type of messaging. But come to find out, like, you're not asking any questions, that you're receiving all this money from someone that's telling you to push certain narratives.
Okay, I'm understanding now. And I think from my perspective, I think what makes this really sad for an individual like Tim Pool and other people that have taken that money is we now know the price that you're willing to accept to spew misinformation on the internet and fearmonger, more importantly, fearmonger. And I think that's the biggest problem here. I mean, there's probably other bigger problems, but from my perspective, the immediate one is that's the biggest problem because that can cause a lot of issues within our country. There's people that are Ukraine that live here. There's people that are Russian that live here. You're now creating more divisiveness within the country because of how much money you're willing to accept.
And that's the point. That's like they're paying for the divisiveness. They want to cause divisions. They're like, these guys all support Trump, so they want like that division to bubble up, and it's really interesting.
All because of your political views. Like that. That's really what it boils down to. Like you just said, because of Trump, he wants Trump to win. He has issues with Biden and doesn't want Kamala to take place as well. So you're willing to go to this length to create fear and animosity among the country.
If you go to his YouTube channel, it's all like the next civil war is coming. Like it's all
like what do you gain? Like that's just no one wants a civil war.
Ukraine's the enemy to the U.S. and it's going to hurt all you individually. Like, it's just insane.
It's kind of interesting how middle of America kind of really craves for a civil war. And I don't know, maybe because we live in a mega city, it's just like I'm thinking about the subway getting cooler. The fuck?
People that listen to people like Tim Pool, they're like very insulated. Like, or like everyone has their own internet niches. This niche of the internet is niche. Into that. Yeah. I mean, he gets a lot of viewers, man. But yeah, it's fucking wild. And
so what happens with his content? Does it go away?
No, he personally isn't indicted. I'm guessing he's going to leave Tenet Media, obviously, because they're going to dissolve. That's a Russian company. That's gone.
Okay.
We'll see. There's still going to be more indictments coming out to dish him personally. He's claiming that he was just tricked and he got baited into this.
That was my follow-up.
But like here's the thing, you're getting $100,000
you don't question it.
per week. Mm-hmm. Per week. That's, you know how much fucking money that is per week.
No.
This guy is rolling in bread and he's not questioning all the narratives being pushed by this company too.
Would you question it?
Nah, I'm not questioning.
I'm asking genuinely. I'm not even making a joke.
I might fumble for $100K a week. I'm fumbling for that bad.
I was doing the math in my head.
As long as I'm not gonna get in legal trouble, unless it's like a slap on the wrist, I might listen to. I'm not faulting you, but you got. I was
caught. Like, that's $400,000 a month. Halfway through the year, you over over $1 million.
Stupid, like. Also, all that money, they didn't ask him to advertise anything. Mm-hmm. Didn't ask him for any, like, to pitch anything, to plug anything. They're not asking for his ad revenue.
Yeah.
Like,
you think it was on the books? Huh? You think it was on the books, or like they kind of like?
No, it was on the books. That's the indictment, because they created a shell company in Tennessee. It was based off of Tennessee, but
I'm trying to figure out his taxes.
Yeah. And then the people that founded the company were like smaller YouTubers, and which is even weirder because you're not going to question how people less famous than you have the money and connections to get you more money. But they got indicted in this indictment for like money laundering and shit, because they're covering up that this money comes from Russia, basically.
Wow.
So yeah, insane work.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm curious. I mean, I'm curious to see how this is going to like play out in the long run. Like, are they going to start regulating certain types of content?
Or at least you need more visibility for like where's your money coming from? Like, where's your funding coming from? You got to like have that visibility. And I think it's going to hurt the Republicans.
But if he wasn't getting paid, he could just say this stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, you could say it. You could say anything you want to say. We live in America. As long as you got to disclose it, though, you can't hide the fact that your money isn't legit.
Okay.
But yeah, I think this is going to hurt the Republicans and might hurt Trump in the election, because this is just a huge hit that a lot of your biggest commentators are all taking Russian money. You know what I mean? It's fucking insane. So I don't know. Let us know what you think. Do you think Tim Pool and these conservatives are able to recover from this? Do you think it's going to hurt the party? Well, what's your overall take on this? Like, comment, and subscribe, fellas.
All right, guys.